Fox News alert now, moments ago, former President Trump responding to this debate challenge from President Biden.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Brooke Singman is here with what Trump just told her in this exclusive story. Brooke.
Yeah, good morning, you guys. Again, I just spoke to former President Donald Trump about debating President Biden, and he told me, quote, crooked Joe Biden is the worst debater I have ever faced. He can't put 2 sentences together. Crooked is also the worst president in the history of the United States by far. I am ready to go. This coming after the news that Biden-Harris campaign is proposing a presidential debate in late June. That would be after the New York versus Trump trial completes and after Biden returns from the G7. The Biden campaign also proposing another debate in early September. Trump accepting the debates in that Biden proposed, saying, quote, the proposed June and early September dates are fully acceptable to me. I will provide my own transportation anywhere, anytime, and any place. The Biden-Harris campaign saying, quote, we also propose a vice presidential debate to occur in late July after the Republicans nominate their vice presidential candidate under the same parameters we outlined below in their letter that they sent. So it looks like the stage is being set for this summer, guys.
And they cut out the traditional commissions on debates.
Right.
And I'm very curious to see the details of this. To me, Brooke, I think he could hold out and get more.
Yeah.
So those are the conditions from Joe Biden, but Trump wants more.
Either way,
he's a negotiator.
Joe Biden is running into a trap because he says the economy is good and American people hear that. He says that the border is good and American people. He says that we're doing good on foreign policy and American people see that. It's going to be a slap in their face.
Can't let you get that second win, which you don't even know is out there for you. You want the title? You want to wear the heavyweight crown? Nose broke, jaws smashed, face busted in. You ready for that? Is that you? You facing a man who will die before he lets you win.
All right, baby, here we go. The man in the arena. It's happening. Are you ready to rumble? Today is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Joe Biden finally accepts Donald Trump's challenge to debate. We've been hearing for months that Joe Biden wouldn't debate Trump because it wouldn't be polite. Now, why would you give him a platform? Well, guess what changed? We'll tell you all about it in the show today. Donald Trump accepts Joe Biden's terms, and the debate is set. The network is set, and the city is set, baby. Let's rock and roll. Vice presidential hopefuls and GOP leaders go to court with Trump in show of force. One of those leaders, Corey Mills, will be on the program, along with Anna Paulina Luna, who, what a stacked show. Breaking news. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Okay, so we have some values on this program that are immovable. We are pro-life. And what do we mean by that? We are pro the flourishing of humanity. And the flourishing of humanity is something that is really woven into our nature. It's something that affects me profoundly every morning when I wake up and see my children. It's something that affects me in the studio as I have little flowers and things left by my kids here every single day. I get a flower for my daughter, front porch. This is just our little tradition. We embrace life here. We are pro-humanity. We are pro-God's creation. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are also pro-life. That is why we are proud to partner with Preborn. Preborn is an incredible organization that helps save lives. It's an incredible organization that offers free ultrasounds to expectant mothers who may not be able to afford one or want one. This is something that can show a mother a heartbeat of her child, and it doubles a baby's chance at life. You should join us in supporting Preborn. $28 could be the difference between life and death. That's all it costs for the ultrasound. Join the fight by sponsoring 1, 2, 3, or 200 ultrasounds. All gifts are tax deductible. To donate, dial pound 250. Say the keyword baby. That's pound 250. Say the keyword baby. Visit preborn.com/Benny today. Okay, here we go. Man, we are ready to rock and we are ready to roll. And ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying as somebody who runs a business here, don't ever negotiate out of weakness. Always negotiate out of strength. Always be ready to muscle through what you want and be able to command what you deserve in any negotiation. Now, Donald Trump's the guy who wrote The Art of the Deal. Donald Trump's been trolling Joe Biden for the better part of the last 2 years, saying Joe Biden is a horrible debater, that he beat Joe Biden in the last debates, which he kind of did. The problem is that one debate was canceled because of COVID. One debate, Donald Trump literally had COVID. And another debate, Donald Trump had his hands tied behind his back by lifelong Joe Biden pal, Chris Wallace, somebody who disgraced Fox News. And so why would Joe Biden accept a debate challenge from Donald Trump? Now, all of the hoi polloi, I don't know if we have the clip loaded from MSNBC. If we do have the clip, oh, yeah, here we go. Clip 2 here, Klein. This is the understanding of the elites as to how to handle Donald Trump. This is the tactic. The tactic is to never give Donald Trump a platform. Okay, so we just kind of want to set all this up. Like, the goal is to never carry his MAGA rallies live, never have Donald Trump live on your TV. If Donald Trump appears live on your program, it could be disastrous for your left-wing anchors. You could give Donald Trump, you could help Donald Trump. Oh, you wouldn't want to do that. So we must, as a phalanx, never allow Donald Trump a platform. And they say that, they literally say it on TV. Have a listen to this clip. It's about 3 weeks old. This clip on MSNBC, where some buffoon blowhard is sitting there being like, oh, you can never let Donald Trump debate Joe Biden. Watch.
I'm curious for what Jen Psaki's reaction would have been like if she was still in the White House when she heard President Biden blurt out during a live interview that he was going to debate. Because Biden folks don't want him to debate. They don't want to give Trump that platform and risk exposing Biden like that on national TV.
Except I was thinking if I was in my old job from 2 years ago, you also don't want him to say no because no is weak and no is fear. So you have to say yes.
Let me tell you about fear. Fear is waking up and having your entire prefrontal cortex turn to applesauce via dementia, brain aneurysms that we know Joe Biden has had. Fear is not being able to walk up the big boy stairs on Air Force One. Fear is potentially soiling yourself on national TV. We've seen that many times. Fear is just fading off into the abyss, not being able to speak the English language, not being able to walk without minders. Fear is being Joe Biden, who is currently, as we speak, running as the most unpopular resident of the White House to ever run for re-election. There are people who ran with much higher popularity and lost. George H.W. Bush is one. Jimmy Carter is another. Joe Biden is officially far less popular than Jimmy Carter. Check out this polling from the New York Times, ladies and gentlemen. Trump leads in 5 key swing states as non-white voters and young voters flip to Trump. Oh, baby. We could spend the next 14 hours live going through the bad polling for Joe Biden. But this one from the New York Times really, really stings. There's a deeply comprehensive poll. This is a pollster with thousands and thousands of respondents. This is a poll that shows that multiple states are now officially out of reach for Joe Biden. Nevada, Georgia, Michigan, Arizona are virtually out of reach. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that we should stop campaigning or that anybody should stop the energy. This is now the time to muscle through, to work 3 and 4 times as hard. Remember Hillary Clinton, barks like a dog, doesn't go to Wisconsin. But look at what's happening. The only state where Biden is ahead, Donald Trump is roundly within the margin of error there. So that's not even real. They're saying Wisconsin might be good. Nah, we'll wait and see. This is panic. Can you smell it? You can smell the panic. Joe Biden has been told by the hoi polloi, by the elites, by his friends like Chris Wallace and the media, that he shouldn't dare ever platform Donald Trump and he shouldn't debate. Yet, lo and behold, this morning, out like a rocket, strange for Joe Biden to have a post up so early in the morning when we all know that he's asleep, has posted an official acceptance to Donald Trump's challenge to debate. For years, Donald Trump has been calling to debate Joe Biden on fair terms and on fair grounds. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get our opportunity. Joe Biden posted this at 8 a.m. this morning. Joe Biden with 200,000 jump cuts. They had to edit this 15-second video to get him to actually say something coherent. Here it is.
Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Okay. Hey Alex, is there some greater context to that whole like free on Wednesdays thing? Like is that just a joke or something? I'm not picking up the joke. I don't know. I guess I appreciate it though. It's good. This is good. Oh, there's no court on Wednesday. Okay, got it. All right, ALX, there's no court in New York on Wednesday. Okay. So good, I say. Trump, his challenge to Joe Biden that went viral last week, 5-second challenge to Joe Biden. I love how Donald Trump like stands and all the cameras get set up and all the lighting gets set up. And this is what he records.
Come on, Joe, let's do it. Anywhere, anytime, any place.
Oh, baby. Okay, here we go. Anytime, anywhere, any place. So this is what Joe Biden, that's what Joe Biden posted. Here's what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social. Crooked Joe Biden is the worst debater I've ever faced. He can't put 2 sentences together. Crooked is the worst president in the history of the United States. By far, it's time for a debate so he can explain to the American people his highly destructive open border policy, new and ridiculous EV mandates, allowance for crushing inflation, high taxes, his really weak foreign policy, which is allowing the world to catch on fire. I'm ready and willing to debate Crooked Joe at the 2 proposed times in June and September. I would strongly recommend more than 2 debates. And for excitement purposes, a very large venue. Although Biden is supposedly afraid of crowds, that's only because he doesn't get them. Just tell me when, and I'll be there. Let's get ready to rumble, Donald Trump says. Oh, man. Oh, come on. I mean, we've been waiting for this moment. We're so excited about this moment. Brooke Sigmund, who is a Fox News reporter, got a quote from Donald Trump. The quote is great. I am ready to go. The dates that are proposed are fine. Let's see if Joe can make it to the stand-up podium. If the proposed June and early September dates are fully acceptable to me, I will provide my own transportation. It's a great comment. Oh, it's so good. So we have breaking news literally at time of show. We bricked this all together. This is all breaking right now. At time of show, the debate's now set. We now have dates and times and everything. So here we go. The debate will take place on CNN. I know, groan, right? Like, come on. For the love of God. But like, okay, guys, it's better than nothing. So the debates will take place on CNN. What CNN anchor are they going to get to do this? They're going to Caitlin Collins. Hey, Alex, can I get some Caitlin Collins versus Donald Trump? The last time Donald Trump was live on CNN. A couple of pretty great moments. Should I whip it out? I gotta whip it out. Should I whip it out? Let's whip it out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're gonna love this clip that's coming. So here we go. They've accepted the CNN debate. The CNN debate will take place on June 27th. Joe Biden posting on X. I love how all this is happening on X. Don't you love how all this is happening on X? I love how all this is happening on X. I've received and accepted the invitation from CNN for a debate on the 27th. Over to you, Donald. As said, anywhere, any place, any time. Donald Trump has accepted now, and Donald Trump, exclusive from Brooke Sigmund, exclusive from Donald Trump, he will accept the CNN debate on June 27th. Trump tells me I'll be there, and he's looking forward to being in beautiful Atlanta. That's amazing. Where he got the mugshot. Oh, baby. Okay. So we're ready to go on CNN. Here's the coverage of what that will look like. You might not like it. Let's have a listen.
Accepted an invitation from CNN for a debate on June 27th. Over to you, Donald. As you said, anywhere, anytime, any place. So 6/27/24 is the date that's offered. That is a Thursday.
It's sort of strange, though, that this all happens. It's obviously coordinated with CNN. And Trump's the one who's been saying since January, anytime, anywhere. And now Biden, okay, maybe it's clever, right? He's like, okay, fine, then let's do it June 27th and we'll do it with CNN. Well, maybe it's all going to happen. Maybe it'll be smooth, but I think there'll probably be some bumps along the way. Trump's got a very competent senior team in Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita. So the details to be worked out, but at least there is going to be a debate. I think.
Yes. In the summer of 2015.
Oh, wow. Going way back.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We had a debate in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
We had one debate at 5 o'clock in the afternoon with Martha May. I think we had 8 million, I believe. And then for the primetime deal with 10 candidates, we had almost 25 million viewers.
Right.
So those people are out there, whether it's summertime.
Baby, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. So this is the news that is extremely depressing here from Vince Coglianese over at the Daily Caller. The actual Biden debate news today. Whoa. Biden is refusing to debate Trump in front of an audience of voters. His campaign is demanding 5 big guardrails for Biden, including no audience, no RFK Jr. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. 2, no Trump remarks during Biden's answers. Only Biden-friendly outlets and anchors can moderate. CBS, ABC, CNN, or Telemundo. Oh, man. Take the Telemundo debate, dude. Do it. Take the Telemundo debate. This is super weak. So Joe Biden's trying to look strong here. He's trying to play a tough guy. Remember Joe Biden said he'd beat Donald Trump up? If Donald Trump was a guy... If Donald Trump was a bully in school, I'd take him out back, says Joe Biden. So the specific demands are actually incredibly weak from Biden. This is all a shell game. But Donald Trump's saying it doesn't matter. The actual strength is that Donald Trump saying, no, let's do it. We'll do it on your preferred networks with your preferred anchors. No matter what, we're going to do it. Ooh, this is going to be great. So the specific demands by Joe Biden, really, really pathetic. Actually shows how scared they truly are. Let's go.
Colleague MJ Lee and I have heard from 2 Biden campaign sources who said that they had accepted an invitation for a debate that will take place in studio at CNN's Atlanta offices. But we will see what else the details of this debate will look like. A bit earlier today, former President Trump, for instance, told Fox News in a radio interview that he would be interested in a 2-hour debate that involved podiums. The Biden campaign has also set out very specific details about what they want to see. For instance, the microphones can only be on when each candidate is expected to speak, potentially eliminating some of that very intense back and forth that we saw in the very first debate between Biden and Trump back in 2020.
Was there an intense back and forth? Or were you watching the same debate that I was watching? Like, for instance, with Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace is a simp for Joe Biden. They've been besties. They've been absolute and total brothers for the better part of the last 50 years in corporatized Washington, D.C., where the uniparty rules. Chris Wallace disgraced the airwaves of Fox News by being an anchor, a nonpartisan anchor on that program. He's a total limp wrist lightweight who brought his defense of Joe Biden to the debates. I don't know if you remember this debate, but it was wild. Chris Wallace was himself on the debate stage behind Joe Biden, like backing him up and blocking every single line of attack from Donald Trump, including, but not limited to, fact-checking Donald Trump on true facts about Joe Biden's kids. Here's a good example. We know for a fact that everything that Donald Trump says here about Joe Biden is true. Every single thing. The money from Yelena Baturina, the mayor of Moscow's wife, $3.5 million. The billions from the Chinese communists into Hunter Biden's family and many, many more. It's all true. It's all real. How will Biden lie his way out of this one? This is what happened in 2020. It was a disgrace.
Mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do with Burisma to deserve $183,000?
None of that is true.
Let him answer.
None of that is true.
Oh, really?
Totally,
Mr. President,
Mr.
President, please.
Totally discredited. Totally discredited. And by the way,
well, wait, he didn't get $3.5 million, Joe?
Mr. Vice,
he got $3.5 million.
That is not true.
Oh, really?
Mr. President, it's an open discussion, please.
It's a fact.
Well, you have raised an issue. Let the Vice President answer.
Discredited.
Did Burisma pay him $183,000 a month with no experience in energy?
Mr. President,
my son did nothing wrong at Burisma.
I think he did.
Mr. President, let him answer.
He doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
By who? The media?
By everybody. Well, by the media, by our allies, by the World Bank, by everyone has discredited. Matter of fact, even the people who testified.
So you can hear Chris Wallace inserting himself. Oh, Mr. President, shut up. Mr. President, shut up. Stop speaking. Chris Wallace isn't there to fact check the demonstrable and evidentiary claims that Donald Trump has about the corruption in Biden's family. He's there to protect his friend, Joe Biden. This is why we're actually really happy that the Commission on Presidential Debate, unless we're missing something here, the Commission on Presidential Debates is now dead. It's dead. This is the stupid uniparty commission that controls the presidential debates, right? They get off on hosting these debates and choosing the anchors and choosing the locations. No, man. It's like Trump said he's never going to do that again, and now Biden said he's never going to do that again. That's awesome. The way debates should work is you should get one moderator chosen by one candidate, one moderator chosen by the other candidate, because there's no such thing as a nonpartisan moderator. Okay? Let's just lay our cards on the table here. There's nobody who's not a nonpartisan moderator. All these people are frauds. The vast majority of them are in the tank for Joe Biden. Some of them like Donald Trump. So Donald Trump should be able to choose a moderator from the center right. That moderator could be anyone from Joe Rogan to Tucker Carlson to Jesse Waters to Greg Gutfeld, whatever, okay? And Joe Biden should be able to choose Rachel Maddow. And they both come to the table with their open biases. They explain who they are, and they are able to frame the debates for their side and for the other side. It is wrong to have CNN. I'm happy that this debate's happening, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm really glad that it's happening. Maybe we'll go. I don't know. We'll see how it all works out. It'd be really neat to maybe be there. But I got to tell you, it's so unfair to have a CNN anchor who hates Donald Trump with every fiber of their beings, who's seething and clearly coordinating with Joe Biden, who's clearly coordinated with the Biden team to get this debate to rig it against Trump. And how do we know that? Because we've seen what happened the last time, about 1 year ago, almost to the day, 1 year ago, when Donald Trump did a live CNN town hall. Well, it was amazingly entertaining, but it wasn't fair to Donald Trump. Thankfully, Donald Trump brought the receipts. For instance, in this first clip, legendary clip, let me whip it out.
Back to what happened on that day.
You said you weren't. He did not say that.
He has testified that, Mr. President.
He did not say that.
But you said you weren't very involved that day. You did tell your supporters to come to Washington. You tweeted about it, about that speech that happened on the rally.
Am I allowed to say that?
When they went to the Capitol and they were breaking into the Capitol, smashing windows, injuring police officers, why did it take you 3 hours to tell them to go home?
I don't believe it did. Oh, let me pull it out. I have to pull it out.
Answer.
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to. You're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
Can you answer why you...
Good, right? Like, excellent that Donald Trump is prepared. Let me whip it out. And what did he whip out? He whipped out he printed off his tweets from that time period. And he had the timestamps on those tweets. And so he was able to fact check the anchor, who is clearly a deeply bitter, partisan, wicked person, pure venom, interrupting the president at every step of the way. Well, Mr. President, Caitlin Collins, low IQ, low operational Caitlin Collins. Well, Mr. President, like interrupting Donald Trump every single answer. Let me check that fact. Amazing how that all disappears. Amazing how that tenor disappears when it's Joe Biden on stage, who would just lie with impunity about his family. Oh, man, though. Donald Trump winning over the crowd. This is why they don't want an audience. So CNN staffs this audience. Presumably, they're not like staffing it with MAGA people. Watch Donald Trump win it over. This is the Trump-Ukraine answer, Klein. Watch Donald Trump win over the audience with an answer. And presumably, these are not like massive MAGA supporters. I don't think so. I don't think CNN would do that, right? They'd be sort of like setting their anchor up. But watch this skillful answer. This is why CNN and Joe Biden have coordinated to have no audience. No audience. Can't have it because they don't want this to happen.
Can I just follow up on that? You said you don't think in terms of winning and losing. Mr. President, can I just follow up on that because that's a really important statement that you just made there. Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying. And I'll have that done. I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done. You need the power of the presidency to do it.
But you won't say that you want Ukraine to win.
You know what I'll say? I'll say this. I want Europe to put up more money because they're in for 20 billion. We're in for 170, and they should be. And they should equalize. They have plenty of money. They should equalize. I got with NATO.
But
when I sat down, I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars that they weren't paying under Obama and Bush and all of these other presidents. That's why they're able to help them fight the war because of the money I got. But I want Europe.
What's happening in Ukraine,
Excuse me. I want Europe to put up more money because they're laughing at us. They think we're a bunch of jerks. We're spending $170 billion for faraway land, and they're right next door to that land, and they're in for 20. I don't think so.
When it comes to what
a wonderful message. I just want people to stop dying. I want Russians to stop dying. I want Ukrainians to stop dying. Are you pro-death? Are you anti-humanity? Why are you pro-forever war? We had peace. We can see, you know exactly what Trump's going to say on the debate stage with Biden. And you know, of course, that Donald Trump is much sharper, much faster, much funnier, and is very light on his feet these days. This is the final clip from that hysterical 90 minutes of just Donald Trump brutality on stage. I mean, he's just clowning Caitlin Collins, just clowning her. But Mr. President, yeah, it's so good. But this is the best clip probably of all of them. Talk about turning the crowd, having the crowd eat out of the palm of your hand. Check this out, how Donald Trump is able to turn this vicious question into a laugh line, an applause line for the audience, and get everybody on his side. This is why they're so scared. Mute buttons, no audience on CNN with some anchor like this, rigging the questions. Check it out.
The country is being destroyed by stupid people, by very stupid people.
You once said that using the debt ceiling as a negotiating wedge just could not happen. You said that when you were in the Oval Office.
That's when I was president.
So why is it different now that you're out of office?
Because now I'm not president.
Come on. Come on. If you're not, you have a heart of stone if you don't laugh at that. Donald Trump he's just naturally funny. You see him and you crack a smile. You see him and you laugh a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, joining the program is a member of Congress who saw Donald Trump yesterday, who was personally with Donald Trump inside of the courthouse as we covered the commentary live from outside of the courthouse, the very great Congressman from the state of Florida, Congressman Corey Mills joins the show now. Congressman, just savage mode. Savage mode. We saw you doing it. You were dropping bombs. We know you're we know you're a veteran, so we know you know how to drop bombs. But outside of the courthouse, man, you were just throwing haymakers. Good for you.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to get the president's side of the story and also what's truly happening in the courthouse when they're giving him a gag order and refusing to allow him to defend himself.
That's right. They can't gag members of Congress. I mean, what are they going to do? You're a Florida congressman. Like, they're not going to be able to do anything. So you can go, and you stood out front. Now, we covered your commentary live yesterday. We're not going to make you watch a video of yourself. We always think that's a little weird, but it was awesome. We played it live. The audience loved it. Can you tell us about the courthouse? What happened inside? Give us like a TikTok of the day.
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, what you get to see on the inside of the courthouse that's unique, that you don't get whenever Fox News or MSNBC or CNN or whomever just decides to pan away because they don't want to see certain things that are inconvenient for them, is that you get to see the reaction by the jury. You get to actually see how quickly this kind of very corrupted Judge Merkin, who will actually, just before the prosecutor even gets objection out of her mouth, immediately sustained. I mean, you have no thought process whatsoever into it. And then you find out all the digging background and the fact that they actually don't have a prosecutorial case or charge. You know, if the idea is that he had illegal or intentionally misleading entries in his general ledger as part of his business, they can't find a way to prove that whenever you have Michael Cohen, their quote unquote star witness, who, by the way, you know, lied under oath, has perjured himself before Congress, who had IRS tax evasion, and who, in my opinion, during this case yesterday, he actually had self-admission to fraud against the Trump organization when he said that I knowingly was submitting invoices for, you know, these legal retainers, which, by the way, the president's team entered it under the legal part of the actual general ledger as any other business would, and that this was supposedly hush money. Now, here's my problem with this. If you were to say, hey, Corey, I paid this amount for you, this $500, what do you think that I would return as a result of that? $500. And in this case, he's saying that he spent $130,000 on hush money, but yet he was paid over $400,000 over a course of a year, which sounds like a normal legal retainer, one that I've had in multiple business, where if you have a lawyer who has a specialty, you put them on a retainer so that they can be available to you if needed, but also because legal retainers are an insurance policy. It means that people are less likely to come and try and launch some frivolous lawsuit when they know that you have lawyers on retainer who are willing to defend it. So, you know, you got a guy who is completely uncredible, who is not an ounce of integrity whatsoever. You got a judge whose daughter is raising hundreds of millions of dollars for the reelection of Biden, Harris, Adam Schiff in the Senate, and others. And then you wonder to yourself, well, wait a second, who benefits from actually dragging this out? Well, the two individuals who are making money off President Trump while involving themselves in election interference by keeping him off the campaign trail, by tying him up every single day, by pushing a gag order so he can't defend himself. And so this is very clearly, it's not a judge, it's not a jury, it's not a prosecutor. These are political operatives working on behalf of a weaponized New York court that is doing this on behalf of a weaponized AG Bragg for the sake of helping Joe Biden and helping Kamala Harris to get reelected.
So that's become quite clear, and we believe that Joe Biden, in a panic, has decided to accept these debate terms, or I guess maybe vice versa. I guess everybody giving in a little bit. Joe Biden didn't want to debate. Do you think that?
I absolutely think that, but then he looked at things like the Gallup poll, where, and 41% of the people are most concerned with economy and inflation, and that's the area that President Trump thrives in. And you look how fast that's exacerbated. When you look at 2022, that was at 32%. And prior to that, we all remember the 2008 collapse where the bubble burst. It was only at 18% back then. So he's seeing where he's losing this, but that's also why he's starting to do other unconstitutional violations like the quid pro quo, which I now call quid pro Joe, where he's actually trying to withhold funding from Israel so he can buy votes from the 13.2% who are uncommitted as a result of Rashida Tlaib's message in Michigan. So he's trying to buy those votes, which is 101,457 votes, and buy the radical left who are pro-Hamas sympathizers who are on these universities across the country. And not to mention the fact that he's violated the Take Care Clause, which, refusing to enforce federally mandated laws for the border. He's violated the SCOTUS ruling, which is a separation of power abuse, where he's actually still trying to buy people with tuition bailout money. So he has no choice. I don't think he wants to debate. I think that the kitchen's getting so hot that he has to actually take it to the frying pan. He has to get out there and do something about it. So he makes this rhetoric, oh, I'll debate you right now, pal. Yeah, on my terms, with my moderator, at my location, with no audience, with a mute button. I don't know what else he's going to continue to throw in there. Maybe he gets an upper of Adderall to keep him going for the remaining 30 minutes of the show. They give him a bowl of ice cream. I don't know what's going to go on, Benny, but at the end of the day, he definitely didn't want to do this. I mean, this is absolutely him trying to pander to get away from all the things that are actually coming at him right now.
Yeah, bowl of ice cream, sprinkle a little crack on there, a bowl of cocaine bag in the White House. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. He likes children's hair flavored ice cream. That's what he goes for. Real sprinkles. It's like real bits of Panther. He's like that guy who actually wants to get in there.
Burns the nostrils. Kid, is that Pantene Pro V? Come on, up your game. Speaking of upping your game, this is the photo that went thermonuclear viral from yesterday. I wanted to chat with you about it. This photo of you with Donald Trump sort of in the foreground, and you're standing there with Byron Donalds, obviously the Speaker of the House, sort of unified front, right? Like this is the spectrum, as it were, of the Republican Party. And so, not like wanting to say what we said yesterday, which is it's good. It's good. Unite and win as America First conservatives. Right. Don't lose as America First conservatives. We want to win, and this is good. But what was standing there in this courtroom like? Talk to us about being part of these photo ops. This is becoming quite iconic.
Well, Benny, let me just go ahead and tell you, they're trying everything they can to paint the perception that President Trump is standing alone. And when they saw us come to this gate and this photo went launch, in the afternoon session, whenever we were getting ready to close out, they put police officers, and I know the police officers are doing their job. God bless our law enforcement officers, but they put them in front of the exact area that we're standing in front of in this picture to where it blocks us out. And again, makes it look like from what the media sees in the photos that we're somehow not there any longer and that he's back to being isolated and he's on his own. They're trying to paint these false narratives to try and go ahead and create the perception that he's on his own. Well, let me tell you, I think that we made it very clear that we stand with the president. America stands with the president. I'll tell you what's even worse, Benny. They won't even let Americans come within 6 blocks of the courthouse. They don't want the protesters to come out there and cheer on their president because they know that this kangaroo court is basically just going ahead and trying to lean in one direction. So they're doing absolutely everything they can to play into the election perception game, and that's part of it. But I'll tell you, that courthouse, the president calls it the ice box. One, it's freezing cold, which they do that intentionally, and then they put him into these very kind of, run down and dank back rooms for his private area that he can actually be in for his breaks. And, it really isn't a position that you would want anybody in, but especially to set the precedent that you're actually doing this to the president of the United States. I mean, it's absolutely just something that you can't imagine. But I do think that America's coming around. They do see this for the sham, indictment, same way we had the sham impeachment when he was in office. And I think that it's actually rallying the base around him.
Yeah. Young voters, non-white voters, everybody's breaking for Trump. And this is partly why. I think this is absolutely why they have so many people surrounding Joe Biden now suddenly hyping these debates. These debates were never supposed to happen. This is not a position of strength. This is a position of weakness. This is a position of desperation and a position.
Well, but Benny, here's my question though. In the debate, what if they ask a question that has to do with his actual case, and now he's got a gag order and he can't defend it? Then it actually creates a perception that he somehow doesn't have the ability to defend himself. And then what is it? It's guilty by the inability to defend. And so I think that that's also one of the things. They're looking at the fact that how they use this gag order. I watched yesterday after he did his actual press conference where they have plants in there who ask him things like, how do you feel about Judge so-and-so? How do you feel about Michael Cohen? Are you angry about this? Are you? And they're plants to try and see if he can violate his gag order. I think that Joe Biden, and I don't put it past the Democrats to try and do the same thing to lead him into a trap.
So you're saying these debates may be a trap. You're saying that they even rigged the photograph of you behind Trump. That's remarkable. We hadn't heard that
Well, they
before.
didn't rig a photograph of us. They actually, on the second time that he went up to the action at the end of the day to close out, they put the police officers up and against that gate to where it made it look like we were further back where we couldn't be in the shot.
So you couldn't stand like this. You're right. because this was the iconic.
Where we're standing, they put police officers kind of in a wall there. So we had to stand further in the back to where they could actually kind of tight shot this to where it looks like he's all on his own.
So that's, I mean, again, that's what we would call, I would call that rigging a photograph, because this is a powerful look. You have governors there, you have Speaker of the House. So much
distraction, though, Benny, from people like yourself who is actually pushing this out, from other members who are out there pushing this out. It became such a big deal that they had to find a way to basically go ahead and get some of this weakness in there that he's all alone. And they literally, at the place that we were standing, we could no longer stand there by the end of the afternoon. They had put law enforcement there to prevent us from being able to do there.
Remarkable. Did you get any chance to be one-on-one with Trump yesterday?
I did. I mean, I had some time with him at the Towers, and we talked. Obviously, I was in the motorcade with him. He's in great spirits. I mean, he literally was kind of laughing at the fact that if these are the two-star witnesses, which is, Clifford, who has lied multiple times, a sworn affidavit, nothing happened, then it didn't happen, then it did happen, then it didn't. And then you got Michael Cohen, who doesn't have an ounce of integrity or credibility. And now you've got the prosecution looking at what is the judge's background and how he was saying. I literally saw, Benny, and this is something that you don't get the opportunity to see, but when he was trying to purposely evade questions, saying, oh, well, yeah, that sounds like something I would say, or, oh, I really can't recall. When the prosecution was there, it was like, oh, absolutely. On this date, I said this in this email. You saw him trying to evade. I watched a couple of jurors, and I'm hoping this is a very, very positive sign, who kind of looked and said, almost like, why is he evading this? Why is this such a difficult question? I mean, he is the ultimate boy who cried wolf, but I mean, at the same time, these were simple questions. He couldn't remember things that happened in 2021, but he could remember the exact description of things that happened in 2016. Sorry, in police work, they call that a clue.
Yeah. I think that they are getting a clue. I think they're going to lose. I think they know they're going to. I mean, they wouldn't do this. This is an act of desperation. And it's a very exciting update on the state of play, because we did a poll just earlier in the week, and it's like 90% of our audience said there's no way they're going to let these debates happen. And so we say that's a victory, and we'll take small victories.
I think so as well.
Yeah, we'll take the small victories. So it's good to hear that Donald Trump has a good esprit de corps about him. Final question here, Congressman. The path, you spent all day with the president yesterday. The path through to the end of the election. Did you talk about any strategy, any updates?
Well, we did. We talked a lot about the swing states. I had the ability to talk to Whatley, the RNC chair, yesterday. And so we talked about the idea of the 19 counties, 7 states that we're concerned with regards to election integrity. We talked about how we're going to actually get the necessary legal teams in place, or if we do have to do an injunction, if we do have to do certain things to be able to ensure that no new ballots are coming in, that's something that we're approaching. Obviously, we're trying to take steps here in Congress, passing things like the qualification of needing to say if you're a citizen to qualify for your census surveys, which would prevent them from drawing the lines. But look, the top issue right now is economy, inflation, the border. Those two things Donald Trump wins handsomely in. He is crossing the spectrums of not just the age barriers, not just the demographics of gender or race or any of the others. He's literally uniting America because they see the weaponized 2-tiered system of lawfare, and they're terrified because Trump said it best. He said, they're not after me, they're after you, and I'm just in the way. They're now really coming to fruition and say, hey, that's actually happening. That's taking place right now. We're seeing what's happening. But also, it's the old Reagan question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Reach in your pocket. Can you fill your gas tank, fill your grocery cart, and still have a little left? If you can't, ask yourself whether you could 4 years ago, because that's the true question. Are you safer now? Are there more angel families? Is our borders actually being overrun right now? Are we getting ready to launch ourselves into a hot war, World War III, because he doesn't understand that we can actually get ourselves out of the interventionist mindset? I mean, people are looking at this and they're saying, you know what, right or wrong, I'm going to support President Trump because I know what my life was like and I knew what the country was like back then.
Really, really quickly, Congressman, that just tickled the ears. So you're going to potentially do legal injunctions to stop the drops of ballots that happened with those miraculous little lines in the middle of the night. That's the first time I've heard that. That's awesome.
So this is something I had recommended. So I watched this when Governor Rick Scott ran for the Senate. One of the areas that was starting to immediately see all this increase in ballots was right there in the Miami-Dade area, back when you had the election person who was Brenda Snipes.
Yes.
They actually filed an injunction which allowed them to cordon the area off, which, by the way, they'd end up finding a car which had a ton of ballots sitting in the trunk of it. And so that could have actually changed it. When you think about the fact that Governor DeSantis only won by, I think it was 0.5%, that's a very significant thing when you think about a ballot, trunk full of votes for the other person. We would have had Andrew Gillum as an example, and you wouldn't have had Governor Rick Scott as the senator. So, I used that as an example, and I said, hey, look, this is what worked in Miami-Dade. Have we thought about utilizing a very similar measure in the 19 counties and 7 states so that we could try and prevent that, in addition to what we can do here in Congress to try and improve the capabilities of more election integrity, because that is such an important issue for all of us.
Yeah. Wow. That's remarkable. It's amazing to actually see somebody to put rubber to the road, so to speak, and like do something about it. Wow, we can actually do something about this. I remember that,
Benny,
Brendan.
Afghanistan, Israel, Haiti, I'll actually go do stuff.
Yes, that's exactly right. The member of Congress who doesn't wait for Joe Biden or the military, just gets on the plane and does it himself is remarkable. You must support Corey Mills. Please, Congressman, come back. Everybody follow him on X. 130,000 Americans rocking and rolling, sir. And we really appreciate the Anchorman reference, the Sex Panther Anchorman reference.
Hey, 60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, we hope you wore that to court. I'm sure Stormy Daniels was like, I've smelled that before. Who's got the Sex Panther?
Where's Ron?
Where's Ron? Oh, man. Fantastic. A man with a much better mustache than Ron Burgundy. The beard, Corey Mills, keeping it sharp. Godspeed, Congressman.
Thank you, Benny. God bless.
Ooh, baby. What a wild time in New York. We have a lot of updates for you, obviously, from New York. We were trying as hard as possible to get somebody who was sort of standing there behind President Trump yesterday. And it was really important because we haven't had anybody on the show who's been in the photograph, right? The photograph that we showed you where you're standing there behind that bike rack and you're physically there in the courthouse. So it was really important to hear, obviously, from somebody, and we're really deeply appreciative for Congressman Mills joining us. Speaking of standing behind President Trump, there is one member of Congress who is the youngest member of Congress, I think, and she is been digitally or physically standing behind President Trump, probably before the whole lot of them, quite frankly. She is hot as a pistol, as the president would say. Hot as a pistol. Start saying that on the program. She's fired many firearms herself. She herself is a veteran. She's also from just around the corner from where we broadcast. Somebody who stands behind the president, Anna Paulina Luna, Congresswoman from Florida 13, joins the program now. Congresswoman, how are you? Welcome to the program. And my producer tells me you might have a special guest on the program.
I did. I had a special guest, but it was Poop 30, so he's out of the picture now.
So you had Joe Biden in your office?
No. Even better, my son.
Oh, okay. Listen, there's such similarities. Really, they're both teething. Yeah, they both eat applesauce. They both have diapers.
Both babble. You can't really understand what they're saying. You know.
Yeah, that's right. And they'll both lose to Donald Trump in a debate. I'm sorry.
I mean, Henry. I will say this: President Trump. I think that he likes Henry, so I'd say that Henry would probably win that one.
Okay. My producers are searching. I don't know if there's a photo of them on the internet together. Has your son met President Trump?
Not yet. So actually, when I was pregnant, we were with him on Trump Force 1. But when he was born, Trump called, and we have a letter from him. And hopefully, I think in the next probably 36 hours, he might meet him.
All right. You heading to New York?
I'm forbade to secrecy on this.
Okay. All right. Hey, wonderful. Okay. We're excited about it. Okay. So this is the topic that I wished to talk with you about because when you're in these hearing rooms, you're somebody who we're always like ready to clip, okay? And it's like, okay, all right, she's ready to go. It doesn't, whether you're wearing an AR-15 pin or whether you're talking to Hunter Biden, you're on the oversight committee, you know about debate and you're fearless. And so I wanted to talk the Trump debate news with you. This seems to us as a position of weakness for Joe Biden. This isn't a position of strength. He's like, come on, pal, let's go behind the woodshed. This is a position of weakness. They never wanted to debate. As far as we can tell, like they're doing this out of desperation. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, 100%. So from a political perspective, you never really want to go to debates unless you are trying to make up for something. So to me, this says that they know that their internal polling is probably really low and that Trump's winning. But what's interesting, Benny, is that with everything that they're trying to do right now, like I was just talking to my comms director and we were looking at the actual response video that Biden had. And he's like, no, you can actually tell that this has been clipped multiple times, which means that they probably had to take multiple takes for a 14-second video. Anyone who works in media or in politics knows that that should be a pretty easy response. I mean, you can pretty much do it from your cell phone, So the fact that he can't even make it through that, I would say that, really what the administration or what Trump needs to do is he needs to ask for like a 3-hour long form debate, because we know that at that point in time, they won't be able to have the smoke and mirrors and protect Biden.
Yeah, that's right. Or the bags of cocaine and mirrors, which actually go together. I wasn't planning on that, but okay, all right, great. So you're right. I mean, you can see it here in the video. We'll play it with no audio because there's less cuts in a Scorsese film than this. They're like, we do a lot of video editing. Like they're going to town on this.
Yeah.
What's happening here? You're a member of Congress. Is Biden not being able to even deliver these lines that are written for him?
I don't think that he is. A lot of people, I actually had been able to talk to a couple of members who were on the floor during the State of the Union, and they said, Biden is physically there, but he's not there. And so I think that that's kind of what we're seeing. But, it's dangerous because this is supposed to be the guy that's supposed to be, our representation on the world stage. And so you see this happening. But frankly, I think Trump has always performed his best in debates. Trump knows that. And so, even though it's with CNN and no audience, I think that Trump knows how to leverage that in his perspective. So I will be tuning in.
You'll be tuning in. Do you think, I know you're very, very close to the president. You'll probably get an invitation to go to the debate. I mean, there's got to be some audience, right? No?
I think that they are going to probably push for absolutely no audience, but it doesn't mean we won't have watch parties, and so I will definitely be at a watch party.
Okay, fantastic. We look forward to the invitation. So, what would be your advice to the president? I don't think he needs it, but Joe Biden started off that video saying, "I beat Donald Trump in 2 debates."
I think that as long as Trump talks on the economy and what's happened with his failure, the number one issue right now, and I don't know if you've been looking, but the actual Biden-Harris administration right now is working so hard to try to get the Hispanic voting bloc. So, Benny, I think we've talked about this before, but you have this back and forth with the Biden-Harris administration either trying to pander to Black or Hispanic Americans, and I think that they're losing both actually right now at a massively alarming rate, which is why you're seeing them try to debate. But what I will say, Benny, is that I think if even Trump talks on issues of what's happening with immigration and border security, that's a number one issue right now for all voters, to include independents. And I think that's why you're seeing that swing in voting blocs that haven't really supported Republicans since the 1950s. And you're seeing that with massive support with the Black and Hispanic voting bloc. So, Trump, everything's on his side, right? Like, we can talk about foreign policy. Let's talk about what's happening with Israel right now in the Middle East. We can talk about what's happening with the economy, with immigration. I think that the odds are in his favor. And so I'm actually really excited for this. But I'm more excited, Benny, to report that it seems to be general consensus now here in Washington that members of Congress, to include Republicans, understand that Trump's going to be the next president of the United States. And so even just from 2 years ago, it's a massive change in, I think, the psyche and perspective. And so it's really good to hear.
Can you please pull back out on that, please? Like give us the larger perspective, because we are starting to get that vibe. It's and what we've been covering on occasion is how they are starting to put bumper car rails on a future Trump presidency. And they wouldn't be doing that if there wasn't going to be a future Trump presidency, because it takes a lot of work.
Yeah,
and so we're like, wait a second, Trump's going to win. They know he's going to win.
Yeah, they know he's going to win. And to put it in perspective, Benny, and to really, for everyone tuning in, so previously, like even when I first got elected, I think there were a lot of people that were afraid to, say like, hey, I support Trump. Like, this is wrong what's happening, because there is such just negative attacks on anyone that was a Trump supporter here in Washington, to include the staff, from people that were basically weaponizing DOJ, all of that. That was by the Democrats. And so now, as you know, I was one of the first original supporters of President Trump's reelection. And you are actually seeing now, not just Republicans, but Democrats, and then staff, lobbyists, all of this. People understand that Trump's going to be winning. And so I'm not just saying that to say that. I actually see the change in perspective here in Washington, and they are getting everything ready for when Trump gets reelected. And so I'm excited about it because, frankly, we can't as a country withstand another 4 years of this craziness. But also too, Benny, I will say that, I have pretty good sourcing here in Washington, and I am hearing that Biden is so concerned about the border that he actually had private talks saying, well, maybe I should use executive action. And I think it was his advisors, AKA the Obama holdovers, that were telling him not to do that on border. So they know it's an issue of their own creation, but we're here to fix it. And we look forward to President Trump getting reelected this cycle.
News that broke at time of show was there's a massive fundraiser that's being hosted in Silicon Valley of all places that's going to net a ton of money for President Trump, hosted by our friend David Sachs. I'm like, if Trump wasn't going to win, this wouldn't be happening. Trump's going to win.
And also, too, Silicon Valley, as you know, is like typically very far leftist. So the fact that these people are like either moving to Florida or saying, no, we're going to raise money here in California for the president, I think that just goes to show the state of what's happening with world affairs. Yeah. And then also you're seeing a massive turnover of some of these mega donors that we're giving to Biden, but are like, look, we can't support what's happening right now with, just the gross failures of what Biden's been doing with the Middle East and also China. And so it's good to kind of see everyone come to their senses on these issues.
So really quickly here, because obviously you'd be somebody to speak very authoritatively to this topic, there have been rumblings about Trump's vice president, and atop those lists is often Marco Rubio, and Marco Rubio is somebody who obviously speaks Spanish and would potentially be sort of a play for the Latino vote that you just talked about. Telemundo is one of the networks that Joe Biden wants to debate on, right? And I guess I wonder your thoughts about that, given that he's a senator from the state of Florida. We sort of put the pieces together. We're like, wait a second, so Trump's meeting with DeSantis? DeSantis would be the one who'd appoint the next senator if Marco Rubio was to bow out and run as VP. It seemed to make sense to us. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I mean, I think that you are probably spot on, Benny. You tend to have a good finger on the pulse. But what I will say is that, I'm also seeing that Burgum's kind of up there. So I have my opinion, and I've heard on pretty good sourcing the top three. I think that you've kind of nailed it with all three of them. But, again, the largest voting minority in the country right now is Hispanic Americans. And so I think that Trump, even if he weren't to have a Hispanic VP, he would still get the vote based on his policies and what he's shown to actually be a huge asset to our community. But I do think that Rubio might be up there as a top contender. And so, as you know, state of Florida is pretty much leading the country, in my humble opinion, with elected officials. So we have some great talent.
I mean, Marco wins the Latino vote here in this wonderful state. And, I don't know Marco Rubio. Don't have a cell phone number, not paid to say this, haven't communicated with anybody on his team. I'm just saying that if he's near the top of the list, that seems to make sense. And locking in, just my thought process here. If he goes on Telemundo and debates Kamala Harris, border czar.
Oh, there's no debate on that. I mean, Kamala, let me just Benny, you know that I ran into Kamala at the airport. She's terrible.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think we have that clip ready. We'll have that next time that you're on the program.
Clip. Yeah,
we'll have that next time you're on. Yeah, that's right. You did run into Kamala, whatever they decide to call her today. She can't even get her own name right. So the final thoughts on Donald Trump's esprit de corps. You're very close to the president. I know you speak with the president. I know you meet with the president. Through the election, we're less than 6 months away. Strategy. Give us a overall perspective.
Well, I think that he's doing everything that he needs to do. You know that these legal cases are nothing but just propaganda, and it's basically being done in an effort to try to hurt him. But I think President Trump has been able to really use that megaphone and share his messaging. He's doing great in New York. I think New York City might be in play, honestly, for this upcoming election cycle. So I think that as long as he continues to do what he's doing, he has a great team, Susie Wiles, James Blair, giving him some great guidance and advice. They are absolutely, from the internal polling that we are hearing, some of those top 5 swing states are in play, and he's already pulling ahead of them. So I think that as long as he stays the course, he's going to win big. And I would argue that it's probably going to rival Reagan's blowout. But I will say, I don't know if we'll ever win California, but I do think that it's going to be pretty historic. So I'm excited.
That is Spartan energy. We know that you're raising a little Spartan here. We've been able to source this photograph. We have the helmet behind you there, but we also have 2 little champions in that. I think there's a photo of Donald Trump there behind you. So we have 2 champions in the photograph. I know that he couldn't join us. I know he couldn't join us for this interview. But Godspeed, Congresswoman. It's so beautiful to see people who are people who are parents and not childless, like that making policies.
Well, thank you.
Like parent
From perspective.
Yeah, and like you don't have a country, right? If people don't protect their families, and yeah, we sure hope to be. We know you're right around the corner, so we hope to work with you on helping support more parents.
Thank you, Benny.
There should be more inspiration for like people to start families and start family units. Like we really truly believe that, and yeah, it's inspirational to see.
Hey, congrats on 2 million followers, by the way. Good job.
All right, yeah, that's right. Rock and roll, baby. Thank you, Congresswoman. Godspeed.
Later, Benny.
We do back to back, baby, back to back. We're just rolling and going. We did get the 2 million yesterday. We did the 2 million. I don't know if we have the. I don't know if we have the clip. Do we have the clip? Do we have the meme? I want the clip. Can we get to the clip with Alex Jones counting us down? It's just too epic. Yeah, let's do the clip. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are, we'll do the meme and the clip. We want to celebrate with you. We did a big celebration last night. We hope that you were watching. We did cross the 2 million mark on YouTube. If you were watching on that platform, shout out to the chat. We love you. We care about you. We will be here for you. Trust that we will be ready to rock on debate night. That you can believe, along with a bunch of other stuff that we have planned for this election cycle. Very exciting stuff is coming together right now. We hope that you stay connected with us through all of that. We hope that you are able to also, obviously, make sure that you are protecting yourself, protecting your future, protecting your assets, protecting, because it's going to be choppy waters. Listen, they're not going to give power to Donald Trump easily. They're going to try and sabotage the guy. They're going to try and sabotage the economy. I think they're going to try and break it beyond repair. So please, ladies and gentlemen, consider diversifying your investments. Consider my friends Allegiance Gold. Allegiance Gold can protect you against whatever they're going to do to the economy on the way out. You know they're going to do it. You know they're going to rip all the guts out of the economy on the way out. They're going to try and like crash everything to sabotage Donald Trump. You know it. You know it. Ladies and gentlemen, invest right now in something that is stable. Don't gamble on your financial future. I trust Allegiance Gold. They help my family get physical gold. That's the way I want. But they can convert your 401k, your IRAs. They're awesome. Go to protectwithbenny.com today. Call 844-66-BENNY right now. Get $5,000 in free silver with qualifying purchase. Don't get fooled by inflated stock values or crazy crypto markets. Protectwithbenny.com today. Protectwithbenny.com today. All right, baby. Let's hop in real quickly from yesterday. We did want to play something that did go viral on our program, which is Vivek talking outside of the court yesterday. It was really, really strong commentary. And also join us live tonight. We'll be live with Vivek tonight, 5 o'clock. Tenet Media channel for our long-form Tenet show. It's called In the Arena. Vivek will be with us for the full hour. It's going to be really exciting, ladies and gentlemen. So please join us. Vivek will tell us all about what it was like with Donald Trump yesterday. Here's what he had to say out front of the courthouse.
The whole case that Alvin Bragg has brought depends on one premise for them to charge this as a felony, is that Donald Trump somehow should have used campaign funds to make an allegedly personal payment. Yet if he had done that, their case against him would be even stronger. This is garbage. That is the best proof that you have that if they're going to get him going or get him coming, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is a sham. This is not the United States of America. This is some third-rate banana republic. If this were happening in another country, we would be laughing at them as a sham democracy. I am ashamed as an American citizen to sit here in a courtroom watching the former leader of the free world, and let's be honest, likely next leader of the free world, sitting with the indignity in this dingy third-rate courtroom with fourth-rate prosecutors and a fifth-rate lawyer on the stand as a witness, who actually is violating attorney-client privilege left and right. Nobody's even talking about that. So this is a shame. Shame on this period in our country's history, but we will get through it and be stronger, because you know who ultimately actually cast the vote on this case? It's not just the jurors in that jury box. It's every one of you at home. It's every American who votes this November to say no to the weaponization of justice.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us tonight with Vivek. We will be live tonight at 5 p.m. at Tenet Media for our long-form show In the Arena. We look forward to having Vivek for the entire hour to hear more about his time in court, because after those comments, he went back into the court with Trump. The other winner of the day was Byron Donalds. I believe Byron will be joining the show tomorrow. Here's what Byron had to say.
Where's the crime? There is no crime. The only crime that's happening here is this Democrat judge and the Democrat Party prosecuting their political rival right in the middle of a presidential election. The crime here is that the issues facing our nation are not being addressed by the Democrats, but they want to go after Donald Trump. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing that has been wrong here. Nothing that has been done poorly by President Trump. The only thing that's being done wrong is by this judge. His daughter's making money, raising money for Democrats. And all of the fundraising emails and all the fundraising things are about this trial that his daughter is using. He won't recuse himself. This is a travesty of justice. This is a misuse of the justice system. And look around New York. New York's got plenty of issues. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. You have all of NYPD's finest down here because of this travesty going on in that courtroom. Meanwhile, the citizens of New York are less safe, and the district attorney in New York is not prosecuting real crime. He's a Soros-backed DA going after his chief political rival in Donald Trump.
Byron Donalds will go on to say the Democrats have lost their damned minds. That's right. The headline from yesterday in the court, Michael Cohen admits to calling Trump Cheeto-dusted cartoon villain as ex-president's lawyers try to paint him as scorned, lying hater. This is never good, by the way. You shouldn't show bias or animus towards the accused. It really hurts your case, and we're seeing them hurting right now. This is what the breakdown was from Cohen in court yesterday. The star witness didn't shine so bright.
Trump's defense attorney finally got to cross-examine Cohen. And right when it got started, he threw a haymaker. Ready? We've never met, but you know who I am, don't you? Cohen says yes. You called me a little bleep on TikTok. Cohen saying, that sounds like something I'd say. Judge Merchan saying, approach the bench. Trump's defense attorney drew blood early, getting Michael Cohen to admit that he called Trump a dictator D-bag who belongs in an effing cage like an animal. From there, the defense painted a picture of Cohen trashing Trump to cash in. Cohen admitted he mentioned Trump in every single one of his podcasts, over 200 of them. Cohen testified he raked in over $3.5 million on his anti-Trump book deals. Trump's legal team even asked him, why are you selling $35 T-shirts with Trump in an orange jumpsuit behind bars? Which Cohen used as an opportunity in court to plug his shop, directing the jury to his website to buy merch.
What an embarrassment. What a humiliation. What a disgrace all of this is. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to another court case you'll hear nothing about, but lo and behold, much more serious charges moving from New York to Delaware. Hunter Biden's latest attempt to scrap gun trial is rejected by judge. Some good news to end the show here. U.S. District Judge Marian Noriega refused to throw out a federal gun crime against Hunter Biden, clearing the way for a June 3rd trial. You know, it's in like 2 weeks. Oh, baby. Yes. He's facing 25 years in prison. And so let's just really quickly summarize the charges here. Hunter Biden lied on his federal NICS form. Federal NICS form is background check. That background check asks specifically if you are using illegal substances. It lists cocaine and crack as some of those substances. It's obviously very illegal to lie on federal forms. Hunter Biden did that, but that was just getting started. Hunter Biden then took that illegally obtained firearm, got into an altercation with his dead brother's widow that he was banging, and she took that firearm and chucked it into a trash can right next to a high school. Then Hunter Biden, in a police report, blamed 2 Mexicans on the crime. We're not making any of that up. Every single thing I just said is totally and completely independently verifiable. Reminder, when Hunter Biden was kicked out of the Navy for testing positive for crack cocaine, and from this cushy job that his daddy got him, he blamed 2 African immigrants on handing him a cocaine-laced cigarettes, because that's just exactly what happens in these kind of situations. So, not great for Hunter Biden. And once again, we're going to have Hunter trials the same month we have the Biden-Trump debates. Bring it on, baby. Buckle up. Let's go.
Hunter Biden will head to trial the week of June 3rd here in his hometown of Wilmington, Delaware. Today, in a tense court hearing behind me that lasted about 2 hours, federal judge Mary Ellen Noreika ignored and basically denied the attempts by Hunter Biden's team to try to postpone this even more. She said this is not a complicated case. Hunter was not in court today, but his attorney, Abby Lowell, first requested to begin the trial in September, then suggested July. Ultimately, Judge Noreika was not having his arguments about not being ready, telling him, quote, "I'm not taking anything away, Mr. Lowell. You haven't done what you need to do." Now, the president's son is facing 3 charges of lying on a federal firearm form in 2018 when he said he was not addicted to drugs. He owned a gun for 11 days. Beau Biden's widow, Hallie Biden, reportedly threw out the gun in a trash can behind a local supermarket in 2018. Special counsel David Weiss brought 3 charges against Hunter Biden. He pleaded not guilty to all 3. Abby Lowell also told the judge in another tax case involving Hunter in California, that's taking his time, meaning 2 cases in about a month. He wants a delay there. The trial is scheduled to begin June 20th, but could be pushed back as we await an appeals court ruling.
So I have on good authority from a federal prosecutor who will remain nameless that we are friendly with. Remember, I lived in D.C. for like 15 years. Okay, I understand how the blorg operates there. And we still got some friends on the inside. And let me tell you a little something. They wouldn't be doing this to Hunter Biden, even though they tried to get him out of this. They wouldn't be doing this to Hunter Biden, these federal judges, these prosecutors, if Joe Biden was going to win in 2024. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call leverage. This is an operation to effectively tell Joe Biden, you're done. You've failed. This is the end of the road for you. And it's time for you to really take care of your little house of cards. This is a warning shot at Joe Biden and his family, pun intended, since these are gun charges, that you best just back away. I personally believe it. I believe it strongly. And I think that the federal government is now applying just the slightest amount of pressure to say, don't do it. Back away. You done effed up. And we got your last surviving son, who should be going to prison for the rest of his life. Do you ever want to see him a free man again? I think that's how the game is played. And I think that the fact that these charges are being brought, the fact that everybody in D.C. is already acting like Donald Trump's the president again. Look at the media coverage. Look at the motorcades. Look at the way that Trump moves with the Secret Service, with all the cops, with everything. Like it's with the plane, the size of Air Force One. I mean, guys, everyone's already prepared. They're already putting the bumper cars. They're trying to put the bumper cars on Donald Trump's next term. And so this is the play. They're trying to charge Hunter Biden, so you can't have double jeopardy here because they know that a Trump DOJ, helmed by Mike Davis or Kash Patel or who knows, Rick Grenell, that they would bring much more dangerous and scary charges. I think that's what the operation here is. Biden will lose, get the charges out of the way, throw Hunter in prison, lock up the key, and yeah, maybe he'll never see his father again. We don't know, but I do know this: that they wouldn't be doing this unless if Joe Biden was going to win. Okay, this is a mafia leverage tactic, ladies and gentlemen. We have some leverage, the leverage of the salty army, the leverage of salt that must flow. It must flow deeply and abidingly from the tears of our enemies. The salt must flow, in fact, so effusively that we must broadcast it live. The salt, it must flow, and it must flow on a live stream that we had last night. We hope that you joined us. If you did, you watched special guest Alex Jones, along with Nerdrotics and the Geeks and Gamers guys and members of Team Benny, count us down to the 2 million mark. We've been heading there for a while. taken a lot of grit and a lot of work and a lot of busting through shadow bans and algorithms and a lot of breaking. And ladies and gentlemen, we got there and we ain't stopping. But here's the moment when Alex Jones literally count us down. Let's go.
How exactly happened, but yeah, freedom is super popular everywhere. That's very, very exciting. So congratulations on 2 million subscribers in 15 seconds.
Let's go.
14.
Here we go. Here we go, boys.
Well,
we
got
the champagne ready.
Oh, yeah.
Champagne ready. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Inevitable.
4, 3, 2, 1. 2 million.
Let's go.
I couldn't even get my champagne open.
Let's go. Let's go.
That is awesome. Perfect timing. Benny, I can't imagine you had this planned out to have Alex and Gary pop in right when it happened.
I didn't get it.
No,
Gary,
we didn't.
Alex, I know you've done Friday Night Tights before, which Nerdrotic is just a legend in his own right. But Gary, anything to say to Alex?
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Alex! You can watch the whole live. It's up. I can't believe how confused it has, actually. What's the point of this? The point of this, as we have stated many times, is we're not here to clout chase. We're not here to try and pat ourselves on the back. We are creating a movement and dedicating every second of our being to two fundamental truths. One, I want to leave this country better than I found it. I want to leave this country a beautiful place for my children. Here's a photo of my kids in the studio. My kids came and visited me in the studio yesterday. ALX, if it's not in the script, then it's pinned to the top of my X profile. This is the motivation for me. We've been very, very clear about this. It's pretty obvious. We talk about it all the time. If you wish to be a noble man, if you wish to be a noble person, you try your very best to not destroy a place and to leave it good for your children. This is the goal. This is the point. And this is our motivator, number one. Number two, I'm sure you have the exact same motivation. Potentially you have the same motivation. Do you have children? Do you have grandchildren? Do you want children? All of those are obviously deeply profound and good, solid callings that will ground your life and give you purpose and meaning, and it will make the dirt that you dig your heels in so much more valuable. This country, the country where I was born, where my grandparents were born, this country that my great-grandparents immigrated to, it's not just a tax pass-through. This is not just an economic zone. This is my nation. I love this place. I don't love any other countries. I don't have feelings for any other countries. I love here. I love America. I dig my heels into this soil and this dirt, and I really profoundly care about this place. And so that's what we're doing here. I bet you do too. And there should be a place where simple people who believe that can gather and can be motivated and can be entertained and can hear from the people in the news cycle or elected members of Congress or Alex Jones or interesting personalities across the spectrum and can come together with that singular goal. You know that I kind of hate the Republican Party, to be perfectly frank with you, and some of its members. Mitch McConnell comes to mind. Paul Ryan comes to mind. And there's a long list. Mitt Romney is popping off, even though he's leaving the Senate, thank God. And it's not really about that. It's about that simple goal of saving this place for our children. It is a deeply noble goal. I can't think of a better one. And that's what this audience is about. This audience is about communicating with you and talking with you. We're up in the chats all day. And, you know, legitimately right now, I'm going to leave a bunch of hearts in the chat. There we go. There's a bunch of hearts in the chat. There you go. We love you and we care about you and we want this to be a movement together. And so that's what this show is all about. You can see my family. We see you as family. These are my three kids. They came to the studio yesterday. They brought me cupcakes that they made. Brought me cupcakes. You can follow my wife at Nurse Kate on Instagram. I think she has some behind the scenes videos of the cupcake making. And I think Klein might have eaten like 10 of the cupcakes. They're delicious. Yeah, I think Klein ate most of the cupcakes. All right. So we thank you. We thank you for all of that. We actually have a special meme that we created based on the 2 million, and I am being pushed by our producers to play it, and Jerry's very proud of it. So we'll play the meme, and then we'll do the verse of the day. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you right now that we are just thankful for you. We are thankful for you, and we appreciate you. And the number one way that we can possibly show that is obviously being here for you every single day, and more importantly, giving you truth every single day. And the best way to anchor our show with actual truth is to look into the scriptures and to give you uplifting. And so let's do that right now. 1 Corinthians 16:13. Be watchful, stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. This news cycle has me feeling strong. Has me feeling like the strength of good men and women in this nation can save this place. There's a really evil place called Sodom and Gomorrah in the scriptures, and all the angel asked for was one good man. Find me one good man. Are you going to be that good man? Can you stand up? You can save your nation if you stand up as a good man, if you are strong and stand firm in your faith, if you are watchful, if you act like men. We can save this place. And so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to have a fun time doing it. We're going to have an enjoyable time doing it. We can laugh, and that makes us happy warriors, and you can't defeat an army of happy warriors. So salty army, Benny Brigade, we march forward to victory. Stay salty. It's your boy Benny. See ya.